Energy moved the world. Energy moved the world. Energy. Without energy, any state is dead. Energy moved the world. Every state in the world needs energy to survive. I'll explain. Say, we might not have light in Nigeria. We might not have food. We won't riot. You might not have water. You won't feel it. But once you don't have petrol, there's always a problem in Nigeria. MTN, they are increasing. We are not bothered really. DSTV, yeah, that one is not there. But once you hear fuel, that touches everybody, even the people that does not have car. Fuel drives Nigeria's economy. You know, we're happy when they said they reduced it by 50 naira, by 20 naira. You know, it's not big money, but at least people were happy. That thing is actually going down. There are times in the time past in Nigeria, there are areas 2 years no light, but they're surviving. They've taken it to be normal. Even the road is not good, they've taken that thing to be normal. Even they didn't have food to eat, no problem. But once it gets to petrol, it affects everybody. Energy drives countries. Energy is what is responsible for industrial revolution. Without energy, no state can be developed. No state can be a world power without energy. So there is security in energy. There is security in having a steady supply of energy. You understand this opening later as we progress. Energy security now is key to the survival of states. Most of the wars in the Middle East were fought. During the first Gulf War, Nigeria became America's best friend under Babangida now. Not because they love Nigeria. No. Energy. I said there is security in energy. And see, there's security in having energy. That is one. Then there's security in ensuring that you have adequate supply of that energy. Put it this way, money. Money is a tool. Most people don't even know. Money is a facilitator. You are not rich because you just want to have money. No, you are rich because of what you can do with money. So money is a means to an end. One, then money is an end in itself. Now, you need money to be rich. One, two, then you need money to stay rich. There are two things. So you need money to be rich. That is one. Then you need money to stay rich, which explains why Dangote is working every day. Because the moment he stops working now, he becomes poor. Can I continue? Yes. No, get the logic. I said, money is a facilitator. Money is a tool. Like your pen. You need money to get some things. Now, for you to be rich now, you need money. That is one. Then for you to stay rich, you need money. Again, it's the same with power. You need money. I mean, you need the power to be powerful now. Then you still need power again to stay powerful. So it's an unending thing. It's forever. So you need energy security. You need to have it. That is one. Then you have to make sure you have it again in the future. I mean, you put 20 liters in your gen. If it finishes now, have you forgotten? Then you go back again. But then there is security in ensuring that the filling station is safe. It is when the filling station is safe that you can get extra liter for your. So is it making any sense at all? So energy security is one for you to have in your house. That is one. Then two, for you to ensure that you have it in that filling station. Nigeria is America's filling station. Saudi Arabia is America's filling station. That is energy security. You're not getting it now. There's security in me having fuel now for my gen. That is one. Then for the future, for me to ensure that I have electricity at night now, that means filling station must be protected, must be safe. So we are not just talking about just my country now. We are now talking about the country supplying. That explains why America is Saudi Arabia's best friend. Not because they love them. No, but because of that energy security. That is the key. That is the language. I remember how I defined security then. Absence of threats from cherished three energy that's responsible for industrial development. There are just three. We call them fossil fuel. And they are non-renewable. Once they go, they go. One is coal. Coal is the old. Yeah, there's what they call back then. Enugu riot. Enugu, the Aba women riot. Over coal now. See, the first set of train back then were locomotive. They use coal. Coal is what ship uses from China, steam, to Nigeria. Coal was what they use in the industry to power the engine. And so coal was energy. back then. It explains why Britain was in love with Nigeria, because they were exporting our coal and taking it to their own country for their development. Can I continue? Crude oil, I don't have to explain that. You all know what crude oil is to any economy. Let me shock you. Japan is one of the most industrialized resources in that country. They buy their oil, they buy their iron ore, all those things. They don't have anything at all. So they buy from others to build all those things, then sell at 10 times the price to make their money. Can I continue? Three things: oil, fuel, then oil, gas, and coal. Nigeria, we really messed up. I think as far back as 2000 and when was it I traveled to the Niger Delta? I think that was around 2014. At 12 p.m. at night, 12 a.m. at night, the whole place was bright, very, very bright. So I now came out to ask them, because me, I'm always, I said, no, they are flaring our gas. They burn our gas away. This gas, they just flare it. Because before you get to the crude oil now, you have to get to that gas. So since we are not using it now, they just throw it into the air. They burn it away. I said 12 a.m. was bright as day in that country. That thing is money, man. It's real money. But because we are not interested in that thing, it is the crude oil gone that was making money. So that's why they call it gas flaring. We were flaring it away. Because then we're using kerosene to cook now. Sorry, I hope you know how you get kerosene and diesel. You know, it's from crude oil. You know, when they say you refine simply means you burn it. When you burn at a lower temperature, you get diesel. When you burn higher, then you get kerosene, aviation fuel, that other kerosene for plane now. When you burn again, you get normal. Then you burn to that, then you get petrol. Then if you burn small again, you get tarmac. Everything from crude oil. When you burn again small, you get all this plastic thing, polyurethane, from the same crude oil. So we were not interested in gas, so we're just burning it away. But imagine 2000 so imagine what they've been burning. Renewable is number one problem. Number two problem is they destroy the atmosphere. Part of the climate problem we are facing now, they are responsible for it. The more of them you use, the more of them. I've forgotten. Diesel, your car, when you change your car engine, that oil, if you pour it anywhere, it destroys that place. Plant will not grow in that place now. Now imagine everybody pouring that thing away every day. Imagine everybody. Because it does not expand. Thank you. That was why I said it destroys the environment. That thing destroys the environment. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets very, very interesting. Fossil fuel is cheap for development, for energy security. Fossil fuel is the cheapest. In fact, that was what Britain, America, France, Russia, all of them, they used to develop. So they now discover that that thing is destroying the atmosphere. That is one. Then two, that the world is running out of it. So you know what they now came up with? They now said, no, we should shift away from fossil fuel, from non-renewable to the renewable, to safeguard our future, to protect everybody, to protect our family. That is, we should move away from all those things destroying the atmosphere, then move away to better ones that are renewable, that will never go out of existence, i.e. solar. That's where you get that idea from. Solar, then wind. We should move away from that thing, then to solar, then wind. Then we should change our cars from diesel to petrol to electric vehicles. Yes, that is where we are now. Gradually, we are getting to where we are going to. But unfortunately, those non-renewables, those other ones are too expensive. So I have identified a problem. We have fossil fuel that are non-renewable. There are 3 in number. Then we now have the renewable that are better. But unfortunately, they're expensive. Sunlight is free. Converting it to energy is what is expensive. States are interested in protecting the source of their supply. One. The states are also interested in ensuring regular supply of that energy. Yes, that is what is meant by security. Protecting the supplier, one. Then ensuring that you have adequate supply in stock. 2. Why is America interested in fighting Iran? There's what they call the Strait of Hormuz in the Middle East. You might not know if I'm not into this military thing. See, I'm not making this up. 99.9% of international crude oil passes through that Strait of Hormuz. That's when it comes through from Middle East, it goes into Asia, into Europe, and the rest of them. It's a waterway. It's a waterway that But beside that waterway, you have Iran. And America is fighting Iran. America stationed a warship permanently. If you disturb this thing, I'll destroy you. Shikina. Because if you attack that anything there, it affects my energy supply. You're not getting it now? That means America is going to another country's waterway to tell them that this road is central to my energy security. So if you destroy anything, attack any tanker, any ship that passes through the... In fact, you know what they did to that way? They internationalized the road. That place is an international waterway. That no country... that we can fight, but nobody should disturb that trade of crude oil, leaving that Middle East, coming to Asia, coming to Europe. But that is exactly what energy security is all about. Ensure you have a steady supply, then ensure that your supplier is also protected. It has nothing to do with religion. That was why I said America is Saudi Arabia's best friend. Not because they love the Saudis. No, but because Saudi Arabia guarantees the world's energy security needs. That is why energy can always disrupt Nigeria. Every other thing will not affect us. But that thing called petrol, that thing called petrol. Once it is petrol, everything grinds to a halt. Everybody becomes... And that explains why America is ready to leave America, to go to Ukraine, to protect Ukrainians, not because they love them, but because they are trying to protect their own energy security too. Their own supply of those minerals, rare earth elements that they need for their economy to survive. One country in the world that I respect that has used that energy security issue to its advantage is Russia. Before this war, Russia controls, I think, close to 80% of energy needs of Europe. They get all their gas from Russia. Russia, madman, built pipe from Russia to all the major European countries. So was the one selling, sending gas is what they use. They don't use petrol now for cooking, for bathing, for heating. Everything is gas. And you know they have winter. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, that was before they did this one. You know how it started? Russia said Ukraine has owed its money for all the gas that they supply, energy that they're supplying to Ukraine. That Ukraine should pay money. Ukraine says it does not have money. Russia said, no problem. Okay. And I said I should take some part of your country. You are complaining. So other European states now stepped in and said, okay, they will pay the money for the month, this month. Russia said, no, it's the money they've been owing for 20 years. They want to collect that and go. It is not interested in the... No, I said, pay everything. Italy was messing up. Germany was saying rubbish. Russia, no talk. Russia waited completely till winter and turned off the pipe, turned off the supply of gas to Europe. I mean, simple. That was when the German eyes became opened, and others were, the economy, their life is dependent on energy security. So that means they need alternative supplier to Russia for them to survive as a state. Russia held them by the jugular, all of them. That was why they could not intervene at the initial stage when Russia invaded Ukraine. Because Russia was the one supplying them gas. All of them, including Germany, the best economy in the world. Everybody depended. So they were scared of Russia because of that gas. Sorry, I hope you are aware that Russia came to Nigeria to partner with our own NNPC. You did not hear the story. They came now. They wanted to control Nigerian oil. In fact, they signed the agreement. It was when we heard the name that we revolted in Nigeria. That people said, lie, we can't have such. They can't call it Gazprom. That's the name of the Russian energy supplier. Gazprom. So Nigeria is Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation. You know what they now call the union of the two? They call it NIGAS. That was why Nigeria said no. Nigeria, then Gazprom. Say nigger connotes a negative name now. Among our people forgot in African Americans, you call them nigger. And that was why Nigeria said, no, we can't have that rubbish with such a name. I will now be having the energy union together. Russia was going all over the place, buying countries one after the other off, tying them to the Russian economy, tying them to the Russian oil. Oil is power. So that in time of war now, they know how to turn the thing off, then you behave. So, but that was what Russia did to Ukraine and to Europe. See, what Russia was doing was to buy off all the major oil supplier in Europe, tied them to Russia. So Russia was now using that monopoly, what you call monopoly, to negotiate with each independent European state. So when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, that was the first time now, most of them could not talk. They were quiet. Those that wanted to talk now, they cut off their gas supply. So they behave. So it's not easy. Now, I was talking about last year, and this thing will interest you. Russia built pipe the same way we built pipe from Nigeria to all those guys to supply gas to them. So Russia built pipe. Now, one of the pipe that supplies main Europe passes through Ukraine. Are you listening now? That means Ukraine was making money because they collect this from Russia. So Russia was making money and Ukraine was making money. Remember, Ukraine also uses the gas, but the rest of the gas goes to the rest of Europe, Germany, Italy, all those ones. They use that pipe that goes through Europe. When they were through Ukraine, when the war started, Ukraine said, "Come, it's not going to renew that license." Ordinarily, they would have blown the pipe, but it would have affected Ukrainian allies. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to do. Because if Ukraine blows that pipe, it will threaten the energy security of those other European states. Yes. So you know what Russia now did with what Germany now did? Germany and some other European states now ran another pipe through Turkey, bypassing Ukraine. Are you getting it now? But unfortunately, again, that pipe still connected back to Russia. The difference is that pipe is not going through Ukraine. Because this is the logic of Ukraine. You cannot be paying my enemy money. My enemy is now using that money to buy weapons to kill me. For every oil that goes, for every gas that goes from Russia to Germany, now Germany pays money to Russia. Russia uses money to buy more guns to kill Ukrainians. So Ukrainians are now saying, you cannot be allowing me to sell that gas to you through my territory. Then Russia is now using the money from that sale, from that thing, profit from that thing, to buy guns. So exactly. So Germany, another European consortium, build another pipe that bypasses Ukraine, then into Turkey, then back again to the same Russia. Russia is indispensable to the energy security. It's of now that they are not trying to look to India, even some of them are even trying to look to our brother Dangote to see how they can break that stranglehold of Russia to guarantee their energy security. So energy security is twofold. Let me end it this way. One, the problem with energy security, I've said, is that we are relying on non-renewable energy source in the world. And that is creating a problem because it's destroying the environment. One of them is gas. Two is the oil. Third one is coal. That is one. That is the first problem with that security thing. They are non-renewable, then they're also destroying the environment. Two, a state has to ensure the steady supply. A state has to supply the steady supply of its energy needs. So in ensuring the steady supply of their energy needs, that means a state will have to protect the interest of the supplier of their energy need. That's why I said there are two things. It's one thing for you to have money to be rich. Then again, it's another thing for you to stay rich. To be rich is one. And that explains why America is all over the world. Remember, they destroyed Iraq. Not because they love Iraqis. It was because of the petrol. And how did we confirm it? After killing Saddam Hussein, and they wanted to rebuild Iraq now. Listen, Germany, France, and some other countries now came and said, okay, now that the food is ready, let us do it together. America said, no. It's only those people that helped me to take Iraq that will be part of this sharing of the national cake. So now turn to France. For France, when I called you, you said no. You even went to the UN to try to stop me now. So you do expect me to now allow you to have a say in the booty of that of Iraq. America took over the petrol industry in that country, and they excluded those that did not actually participate in that war. In other words, America went to war with Iraq because of its energy security needs. It's just that simple. No other theory to it. Why do you think China is always interested? So I hope you're aware the Chinese, they buy Nigeria's crude oil. You didn't know. They not only buy from Nigeria, they diversify their energy needs. They buy in case you become their enemy. I mean, they still have and that's how important energy is to every state in the world. I think under Buhari, we started realizing the importance of our own energy security. Now, there's a huge deposit of lithium. Lithium is what you use in making the battery. It's a key component in making a battery. Elon Musk now told Nigeria to sell the raw material, the minerals, to him. Nigeria said, no, we are not selling. Come and build it here. Like they've done in Germany and they've done in Australia. That we are not selling. Gone are those days when we are selling our things raw. Come and establish the battery industry. Yeah, because battery is going to lead the future.